This is the Marketing Boss Podcast, where today's top marketing professionals reveal their best tips, tools, and strategies, and we all become better leaders because of it. And here's your host, video marketing expert, Herschel Houghton.
Everybody that's listening to the podcast, I'm so excited today with our guests that we have, Lance Baird and Rob Rook. And, today we're talking about some of the challenges that come about when it comes to developing a new agency. And, as a startup, they're going to share a bunch of things already about things that have helped them, things they wish they had done before. They are with Baird Consulting, which is a marketing consultancy focused on driving rapid growth within startups and small businesses. And I love, if you guys visit their website, I'll link that in the show notes. They are a collection of X somethings. Like, who says that? X somethings. X agency, X corporate, X high price, fancy New York law firm. They're really highly driven specialists who value independence, accountability, and results. And as you guys heard, it's to them, and one of their core values is staying true to yourself. Because we are in an industry that keeps changing and whatnot, but they really believe in staying true to themselves in the industry and to their customers. So as we continue to go along with this topic, you guys, what are the biggest things that you wish you had done before? You know what I mean? I know we're talking about those challenges that, that come about for others that are developing a new agency and like you guys are. What are some of the things you guys wish you had done before?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks, Parcell, for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be with you here this morning. And I know I speak for Rob when we say the same thing. I'll take a first crack at it. So it perhaps might be a little bit ironic in light of the fact that we just had a discussion on core values and staying core and staying true. One of the things that maybe I wish we would have done, Rob, I'd be curious to your thoughts on this. We've never talked about this, but there is another side of the coin where you're looking at your bank account. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, how in the world am I going to survive? So you might take some work that isn't exactly fitting to you, which, for a few weeks or maybe a month or so kind of drives you crazy. And then, you collect the check and it pays your bills and it pays your guys and everybody's happy. But then you think to yourself, man, if I didn't take that client, could I have, what was the opportunity cost of that client? Could I maybe have reinvested my time to go out and get somebody else or get somebody that was more fitting? Because we've looked at some things where we've had some capacity constraints where if we just didn't have that kind of work, maybe we can go out and do some other things. So there was a moment where we were perhaps doing some work or going after some clients because they were more opportunistic in nature and not necessarily something that fit us entirely. And had I the chance to do it over again, I might have done that one a little bit differently. What do you think, Rob?
I think you're exactly right. Now, are we speaking in terms of our agency or personally things we do different? Is that the frame here, or is this kind of a?
Well, I know you guys are coming from different perspectives, so I think it's a little bit of both because you guys are coming with experience from your other agencies and as well as in Baird Consulting that you guys have now.
Okay. Well, I mean, Lance is absolutely correct. A lot of times you spend time spinning your wheels with a client when you could have gone out and gotten three. We've all been there. We've all done that. My big thing, and it just circles back to what I said before, it's just staying true to yourself. If I could do one thing different, it would be to just let myself be me. Let my creative, let my marketing, my sales strategy, everything just be part of who I am, not part of who I think my clients want me to be, not who I think the world wants me to be. And because what that does is, for me, it gave me real bad creative block, writer's block. I couldn't think of new jingles. I couldn't think of new slogans. I was trying too hard. And I often say, just don't, just kind of be yourself. Some people like to meditate. I do. Some people don't. Just kind of sit back and relax and just be yourself. That's the biggest thing I can possibly say as a tip. And the biggest thing, if I could go back in time and change, excuse me, I would. And it would be to just let myself be myself.
We have a saying in the agency that we above all things we're going to be honest and we're going to be real. And the concept of being real, right? It's almost like a great friend is someone that's going to tell you something, even if you don't want to necessarily hear it, right? We try to be that, between Rob and I, between the other guys in the agency, we try to be that with our clients. And if we allow ourselves to just be real and not feel like we have to step on eggshells all the time, that only is going to enable better creative, better thinking, better. I mean, it runs the whole gamut. So that, I'm completely with you. Being real, be honest, being true to yourselves is absolutely critical.
And definitely finding great people you can work with. Obviously, if you haven't heard, Lance has a great way of translating my speaking into something so much more eloquent. So Lance and I work great here. So actually, you definitely have to find some good partners as well. People that understand.
So let's talk about that, because that's a good segue. I know you didn't invite the segue, Parshell, so I hope you don't mind that I'm taking license. This is my own personal attitude. To me, it's insanely difficult to find in business people that you can trust, and B, that are not lazy. Those two components are insanely rare. So Rob and I, we grind all the time. It's not like it's crazy where, we're working on the weekends, working at midnight or 1 a.m. I mean, sometimes we do, but, we're a startup company. Clients are expecting a lot of us. They are investing in a lot of us, right? So as a result, we need to make sure that our energy and our efforts follow suit. At the same time, just as you said at the beginning of the podcast, Parshell, we are a collection of X somethings. There are no prize or sacred cows here. Everybody's independent. It really is a virtual company. I say that because I say that in sort of jest, because we just purchased a physical office space last week, but we all have to rely on each other. And if we are not honest and brutally honest, again, going back to that, to our core, and if we didn't all bust our ass to make sure that we get things done for our clients, the agency at its core would not exist. So in terms of challenges, in terms of things that are absolutely critical, finding, it's classic stuff. I almost don't want to say it, from it's good to great. It's all the books that we read in business, all the things that we're taught in school. If you don't get the right people, if you don't exactly have the right people on board, this dog ain't going to hunt. So that's something that we found to be very, very critical to our success as well.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's speaking back to what you said, it's about having the right people. And I would say as well, it has been a challenge for us in our agency in terms of finding the right people. How did you guys, or is there a particular method or strategy that you guys use when it came to finding the right people? Because like you said, they're sometimes can be lazy, sometimes just aren't the right fit or don't have the same passion. What did you guys go through in order to determine who was a good fit?
So I'll tell you that it's not. There isn't at least a formalized process, although maybe there should be, Rob. But I mean, here's loosely how we kind of determine it, right? So if you look on our website, you'll see 6 principal people on there. So 4 others in addition to Rob and I that we feel really, really work their tails off. That's just kind of our leadership. We've got a collection, probably all in, we're around a dozen or so in total people that kind of make this agency come to life. And again, all networked, all people that we trust, all people that we've worked before. When Rob and I were sort of starting this thing out, and I said, okay, who do you know? Well, Lance, who do you know? And we're kind of putting together some names. I think intrinsically, people recognize others that are doing exceptionally well in their craft. I mean, just by definition, everybody can't be an A player. If everybody were an A player, then there would be no such thing as average, right? So we kind of think to ourselves, who are really the A people that we know in creative? Who are really the A people that we know in business development? Who are really the A people we know in legal and in venture capital? And all those people that are listed on the website, in addition to the others that are not listed on the website, are people that are exceptionally talented. For example, Genevieve Jaff is our legal expert. She is absolutely phenomenal. You look her up. She's been featured on numerous media channels, on TV, on radio, on newspapers for what she does. She's incredibly successful as an independent lawyer who specializes in helping startups secure their intellectual property, set up the LLCs in the correct way, et cetera, et cetera. Carolyn Riggs, working for event management, is absolutely phenomenal at the details and the very specific intricacies of setting up massive events. She set up events for Fortune 500 companies. I could give her something incredibly large that a client has asked us to do, and we might have one here at the end of this year that I can't quite talk about yet, but hopefully so, and say, hey, Carolyn, I need you to run with this, and she will go ahead and make it a dynamite success. So when Rob and I were kind of putting together some names together, who might be able to help us, et cetera, we were kind of looking for those A players. What defines A players? I can't really tell you, but we just sort of have this feeling in our gut, who are the people we want to work with, and we went after them, made our pitch, and here we are today. So that's probably the best answer I can tell you. Rob, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that either.
No, I'll just sum it up with the last thing you said. It's usually that gut feeling when, because we all have this gut feeling when we meet someone like, yeah, this is a good person, or yeah, this isn't. A lot of times our logic overrides that feeling, and then we find all the logical reason to work with this person, to date this person, and they turn out being wrong. So like Lance said, just go with your gut. That'll oftentimes tell you who the good people are to date, to work with. So yeah, definitely.
I love that. So, of course, when it comes to a new agency forming, like you said, you're going with your gut to select these top-level experts in their field or experts in their description and what they do. The other question that comes to mind, and I'm pretty sure you guys maybe have dealt with this as a new startup, as an agency. Tell us a little bit about how or what you attribute your success to related to, actually attaining your clients, and I guess from your marketing and your sales perspective, like what's worked really, really well for you guys?
Rob, you want to go ahead and take first crack at this one?
Oh, as far as attracting clients for us, it's really just being ourselves. I mean, we put ourselves out there as marketers, and right off the bat, a lot of people say, oh, another marketer. But what you see with us is something that you don't see a lot of other places, and that's that we're real, we're authentic. We actually, we'll drink beer with you. We will play a video game with you. We are humans first. So me personally, I believe that is where most of our success comes from, is that we're real.
Yeah. Again, that's a core component of it. The other thing, and that might, what I will say probably pales into comparison to what Rob just said. So we can't underscore that enough, the concept and the importance of being real, especially in an agency and perhaps in a discipline like marketing, where there's a lot of BS out there and a lot of fluff, right? So if you're real, usually that rises above. I think really what's been making us successful is we're not afraid of the hustle either. So listen, there's a lot of agencies and they do great things, and you ask them who their target market is and they'll be able to explain it to you. You ask them, some intricacies of their audience and the trade shows they want to attend and all those sorts of things, and they'll tell that to you. Yeah, if you ask them, well, what are some of the marketing activities you're doing, they might talk to you about, to and through the funnel and actually Marketo and all these really, really cool technological tools to make sure that, their client sees one more email on top of their stack, or some of these other things. We're the agency that says, hey, listen, we know that these clients are going to be at particular trade shows. One specific example, I'm going to go out to that trade show. I'm going to do 50 meetings, go up to their booth and just ask for their vice president of marketing and see if we can pitch them. That's the hustle. I can tell you that that is the fraction of agencies, and we're talking about single-digit fraction of agencies, don't do that, because most agencies are not salespeople. But we actually have people who are dedicated to new business development, who are trained salespeople who just happen to work for a marketing company, and that hustle makes us very successful. So the hustle gets the clients interested. The being real, I think, actually keeps them here. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, absolutely love that. It actually reminds me of there's an author and speaker named Sally Hogshead, and she has a book called How to Fascinate, right? I think that's her website at least, but howtofascinate.com. It is so interesting because what she describes and then basically what she builds a lot of her research on is this idea of fascination, right? When you are yourself, when you are in your, I guess, your unique brilliance, if you will, in your space, that's actually what fascinates other people, and that's what bridges that gap. You know what I mean? So, like you said, when it comes to the hustle, yeah, do your thing, like work hard, like work your tail off. And on the other side, I love this recurring theme that you guys are saying, which is be yourself. And this is something that I'll honestly say, as a business owner, that I've had to overcome over the years, was to really know that I'm enough and to know that I bring to the table a lot of value. And when I'm myself and when I'm, like, for example, I love to laugh. I love to, use humor in a lot of different ways. And so that's just how I am. And I think that in what you're saying, there's that working hard. And then also when I'm with them and I'm actually a real freaking person, then it bridges everything together. And, I'm able to really build great relationships that actually has helped us to win a lot of business. So I'm definitely in agreement with that.
Sure. Absolutely.
I mean, humor in the business world, Parcell, is something that is not a very high commodity in terms of it just being out there. So the fact that you offer that is probably, yes, a testament to your success. People love to laugh. People love to feel like they're sitting with someone who understands them. So humor definitely is another great thing to use.
Absolutely. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, you guys, today, but let's just, in terms of any parting words, or like what's the main thing that you would sum up here as we wrap up, some last pieces of advice to those that are listening? This has been great. I can actually talk a bit longer, but I want to be sensitive to you guys' time. So, like what parting advice would you have for the listeners, as well as how they can get in touch with you if they want to talk more or go have beer with you guys?
Sure. We'll happily take beer. We will. We've never had the discussion of will we accept beer for payments, but that might be actually a fun exercise we can deal with later. If we have a beer client, I'll put this out there. If there's a beer client, specifically a craft beer client that wants to do business with us, we will accept beer as some partial form of payment. I'm putting that out there now, and that's completely true. Okay. I guess, parting words. It's I don't know. I try not to be that complex in my life. I try to be kind of straight and to the point, and try to simplify things in a way that even my feeble brain can sometimes understand. Maybe it's this. It's, again, like I said, it's worked well in my personal endeavors. It's worked well with Rob and I with this little thing that we started. 3 things. Number 1, be yourself. Number 2, know exactly what you want. Number 3, go out and bust your tail and go get it. I don't know how what else there is to say about that. If that kind of stuff appeals to any of your audience, Mark Parcell, or any folks out there in the media, Baird Consulting LLC.com, and you can find our information at the bottom of the page. But that's just my thoughts.
I love it. I love it.
Good. Rob, anything else maybe I missed, buddy?
Rob? No, that was definitely good. No, you definitely hit the mark there. I was just thinking, basically number 4, just keep your nose to the grindstone. Believe in what you do, and then believe in the reasons why you do it, because we all have reasons why we started an agency, why we got into creative, why we got into marketing. And maybe we forgot those reasons. Maybe we've been doing it for 10 years. So I find a good practice is just to go back and look at the reasons why you're doing a specific project, why you're in that job, why you're working with that client, why you decided to do websites and not do social media networking. There's a variety of things. And usually, not to sound like the movie The Secret or anything, but then it's just believing in the goal, believing what you're doing, why you're doing it, and don't spend too much time thinking about all of the things that could happen. Just think about the end goal and go get it.
Man, you guys are throwing out some gold today. This is really, really great. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today, just talking. I feel really energized for the rest of the day now, so thank you guys. Thanks for being here with me. I really appreciate your time.
It's our pleasure, Marcel. We'll look forward to hearing the podcast when it's ready. Thanks again for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thanks so much for listening to the Marketing Boss Podcast with your host, video marketing expert, Herschel Houghton. We'll catch you next time.